exposing my biggest secret ever in Apex, something people have only seen once. My stats. From my KD to my absurd amount of games played to my average damage, everything. Then I'll show and explain to you why I own the most expensive account in all of Apex. And finally show you the best settings in the entire game. Boost your FPS, your stability, all while removing as much visual clutter as possible. Let's do it.
I ain't slept in months, y'all. I so red I can't see what's real. Roll me up a blunt.
Time to expose my stats, something I've only ever shown to the public once before, I believe, and that was a year or two ago. So, as you can see here, I have 63,000 games played and almost 15,000 wins. That might surprise a few of you because obviously I make content largely not based around me playing the game now, but if you were not new here, you would know that I am a massive Apex player. I used to be the #1 Watson for kills in the world for over 3 years. So these stats you guys are about to see is probably going to surprise quite a few of you. But you know what? I'm going to make you guys wait for that till the end of the video. Before that, let's go have a look at how many kills I have on each legend in Apex. Followed by the best settings in the game to get you guys the most frames, least visual clutter, and best stability. Then my stats. As I go through each of the legends as well, in the comments below, tell me, do I have more kills than you on your main? I reckon there's a small chance I might. So first up, we have to start with Watson, right? Because she's, the best girl, Watson. There you go. I have 133,000 kills on Watson. I haven't got many kills in her recently. I've had about 130k now for like 5 or 6 seasons straight. But yeah, look how cute she is. She's amazing. I really need to play more Watson. Then on Bang, I believe I have a few. Yeah, I got about 3k on Bang. You also notice I have 4k 20 on every legend in the game as well. Who else do I have a lot of kills on? I think I have a lot on Ash. Yeah, 6.3k on Ash. Pathfinder, I got about 5.5k. Wraith, I was originally a Wraith main, so I got almost 10,000 on her. Ooh, I need to get 8 more so that I have 8888. That'd be cool. Octane's always fun. Had moments where he's very good as well. I got 7.3k on him. Awesome. Revenant, I'm not a big Revenant fan, but look how small he is right there. He's tiny. Look at him. He's got no body. I got 3.4k on him. Horizon, I got a couple of K because I don't really like playing her, but sometimes I was forced to. Other than that, though, I don't think there are many legends in the game that I have many kills on. I mean, I'm going to have a couple K on Gibby, probably, yeah, 2.6k. And I've got 7.5k on Lifeline because I was a Lifeline main for a little bit of time. I love playing Mirage, but I don't have too many kills in him, only 3k. Caustic? I have 6.7k on Caustic because I'm secretly a Caustic lover and really enjoy playing him, although he is absolutely terrible at the moment. As for all the other legends, here they all are right now. It's actually so cool looking at all those 4k 20s. It's a pity Maggie's are around the wrong way though. Well, what I need to fix that. We do have 4k, almost 5k on Bloodhound, 3k on Crypto for some unknown reason, but I got about 1,000 at least on every legend here. And over here we have the rest of my legends. Oh wait, I don't have a 20 bomb on Sparrow? Shit, I might need to go play some Sparrow, hey. Otherwise, we have about, 2k on Loba, 2k on Newcastle, 999 on Conduit. I need to go get one more kill on Conduit. God damn. If you haven't seen many of my videos before, something else you guys might not know as well is I actually own the most expensive account in all of Apex. As you can see here with the baller badge, I have 2,100 legendaries. That's a lot of legendaries. I'm only missing about 15 or so in total, I believe. But a lot of people have a lot of skins, so that's not the only thing that makes my account so expensive. Obviously, my stats and all my kills that you guys will see in depth soon, but on top of that, if we go over to Mythics, I own every single heirloom in the game. And once again, you guys will be like, oh no, that's only every heirloom. A lot of people own all the heirlooms, all the Mythic skins, all the artifacts, all the universal melees, even the weapon skins and grenade skins down here. But if you look up here, I have 3,750 heirloom shards. Yeah, that's a lot. I also have this crazy pack collection as well. Try to save this up to have the most crazy pack collection in all of Apex. We definitely need to keep saving. All right, now settings time. These settings you're about to see are going to be in large the best possible settings for Apex. Obviously, there's going to be a bunch here that are personal preference, and I'll explain which ones those are and why. But at the same time, I'll also explain what each of these mean and why the ones that I have are the best. So first up, we have Interact Prompt Style. Compact. Compact is the best without a doubt here. It means when you look onto a weapon or you look at a heal, like a med, shield battery, for example, the pop-up that explains what they are will be much, much smaller, thus giving you more screen to see and more knowledge of what's going on around you. Button hints, this is one that is completely personal preference. If you're a new player, I'd recommend having them on as it shows you what all your hotkeys are, etc. If you're an experienced player, you can have them off to get rid of the tiniest, smallest bit of visual clutter. I personally have them on because I like everyone to know that I'm a mouse and keyboard player. Crosshair damage feedback. I personally think off is a must-have, but there are some people that feel different. If you have it on X, when you shoot someone, an X will appear on screen, as you guys are seeing right now. I don't personally like this because I feel like it is distracting on your screen and just creates visual clutter that you don't need. You already have the audio cue for when you hit someone. Shield icon will just add a shield icon next to it as well, but you already have that knowledge when you shoot someone and what shield they have, so I don't think you need to have that, and I think off is completely fine. Damage numbers, I personally think stacking is the best without a doubt, but once again, it is personal preference. The reason I use stacking and I don't use floating, for example, is stacking will just have one number above the head when you do damage, and as you do more damage, that number will increase. With floating, every single piece of damage you do is shown up and it like floats above the head, as you can see on screen right now. Both is obviously both those put together, and off is just off, but damage numbers are good. You want to know how much damage you're doing, so I think stacking is the cleanest and gives you all the information that's needed. Enemy health bar, I mean, knowing what HP your enemy is absolutely insane and one of the most OP things going around. It gives you so much information on how to play a fight, whether you push, whether you don't push, and all of that. Ping opacity, default or faded. A lot of people say this is personal preference, but I think you have to use faded, and there should never be a time where you use default. It just means that any ping that appears on your screen or anywhere else is faded in color and you can see through it compared to being full and you can't see through it, so it gives you more vision. Enemy highlight, this is one of the newer things that was added to the game maybe 6+ months ago. Enemies are simply highlighted a color when they're near you. It gives you so much knowledge and helps you spot enemies that you may have walked past. It makes ratting ridiculously hard, so definitely have that turned on. You're just hampering yourself if you don't. Obituaries, it's just a kill feed. You kind of always want that on, just so you know what's going on, you know if there's been trades, when to push a fight, when not to push a fight, etc. Minimap rotation, I straight up think you're a crazy man if you have this on rotate. It means the map spins around when you spin, so your map's always spinning in the top left corner while your little triangle there stays the same. It literally makes me dizzy and motion sick. Maybe I'm just a pussy, I don't know, but I think if you have that on, you're literally crazy and need to be tested. Weapon cycle on empty, I mean on, there's no point in holding the weapon if it has no ammo. Always sprint. Some people have this on. I believe there are certain movement texts it's best to have on for, but at the same time, I believe there are certain movement texts where it's best to have it off for. I personally just like having it off because it means that you can slow walk. Slow walking is when you just normally walk. It makes less audio, next to no audio basically, and is super good. I use that in almost every single fight I play when I slow walk up to it. Lets you get the surprise on people. Sprint control, I mean, I think that's absolutely personal preference, whatever you use. I have it on press just so I can press it and then take my finger off and let it go. Works well. It also means I can press enter and type still. I like that. Auto run, I definitely have that off though, because if you have it on, then you can't slow walk, and slow walking is super important. Jetpack, glide control, personal preference. I personally prefer to have it on hold. So when I'm flying, I just press it in, hold it, let go when I want to stop, and I don't have to press the button twice. Incoming damage feedback, I have it on 3D, but honestly, it's completely personal preference and doesn't really change anything, just whatever you find the best. Taking damage closes death box or crafting menu. So basically, if you're looting the death box, or you have tab open and you get shot, it'll close this. If you're brand new to the game, probably a good thing to have it on, and why it's on by default, because it means, you won't get stuck looting in the box and you'll just die when someone starts shooting you. It'll kick you out so that, you can notice that and have a chance to fight, especially if your reaction time isn't good or you don't fully understand how to play the game. But if you play this game for more than 2 hours, off, and off. You won't find a single good player in the existence of Apex that has this turned on. It is the most useless setting in the entire world once you know how to play the game. As for these next few, they're all personal preference to just show you a little bit of information about the game, albeit very basic information, so most experienced players will have this turned off to reduce visual clutter. Once again though, personal preference. Streamer mode's an awesome feature, but it kind of depends who you are, if you use it or not. What it does is it'll hide everyone else's names in the entire game, change them to the likes of Pathfinder 1278. It's great if you're a streamer so that your chat don't know who's in your game and they don't go into their chats and talk shit or say this or say that. Also useful in another way though, I know a lot of people get nervous when they see their friends or big content creators, streamers or pro players in their games. It'll hide that so you just play the game normally, always. Anonymous mode will hide your name to everyone else while still showing the kill feed to you. If you're a big streamer, it's really good to have on, so people don't know when they kill you, etc., or they don't see your name in the kill feed, and they start playing the game differently. Usage sharing, enabled, disabled, doesn't matter, just do whatever you like there. Performance display, I love having this on, lets me see my ping, which is super important for me because I sadly usually play on high ping. Also, FPS lets you know if you're having performance issues with your FPS, so you can see that as well. And this is super, super useful for the devs. If you ever report a game or you ever send a clipping to the developers and you have performance display, they can actually, bring up all the information needed about that game you played and get to the bottom of whatever your issue is so much easier. So fantastic to have turned on. I mean, communication filter, tutorial system, they're basically just, you want people to be able to talk to you? If so, on. If not, turn it off. Tutorial system, if you do have it on, if you're not, turn it off. It really does not matter. Reticle, it's completely personal preference on what color you have here. I think red is largely probably the best and the staple best in the entire game. But as long as you have a bright color, I know a lot of people use like bright blue, for example. Bright green will probably get lost in the grass a lot. But it's all personal preference for what you like. Find what you like and then use it. I do miss when there used to be the neon colored ones that used to be able to make with the negative color variants. Apex, please bring those back. And laser sight, exactly the same there. Exactly the same. Accessibility, colorblind mode. If you're colorblind, obviously use these. There are a couple of different colorblind modes certain people use because it makes things different colors, like the zone and Gibby bubbles, so it's easy to differentiate them between each other. I personally just like the basic and the way it looks, but you can change those up if needed. And the rest of this is all just personal preference, let's be real. Alright, mouse and keyboard time, my very unique settings for these. I'll explain why they're unique as we go through them and why you probably shouldn't copy some of them, but we'll start at the very start. Sensitivity. My sensitivity is a relatively basic one. It's probably the average sense that most people play. I have 1.47 in-game and 800 DPI. This used to be 1.5, but then it accidentally changed to 1.47 once, and I have no idea why or when it changed, but I've just stuck with it ever since. My sense here is also equal to 35 centimeters to a 360, or about 14 inches to a 360, which is on the slower end of average, but still average. ADS, mouse sensitivity, and per optic. Currently, I'm on the basics, so the multiplier is just one across the lot, but there was a time for about a year and a half where I did change this, and I kind of wish I'd stuck with it, and I'm thinking about going back to it for a while, and maybe I'll even make a video out of it, where you change all of the per optics so that it makes these sensors exactly the same as your base sensitivity. This is done by a couple of pros, the most notable one probably being one of the best pros in the entire world, World Champion Zero, my old Duo partner. He's done this since basically the very, very start of Apex. I believe he used to do it in other games before, like CS and Rust and stuff like that. You have to use a converter to exactly work out where you change them all to, but you can do that, and it means you just can be extremely consistent across the entire field. It does change a few things here or there when FOV changes with scopes and stuff like that, but largely, I really enjoyed it when I used it for my year plus time, and I do wish I'd stuck to it. Maybe I'll switch back to it at some point. There are other people that like having slightly slower sensors on their one times because it makes them feel like, you know, close range tracking is a lot easier, and they do even make it, you know, faster with their per optics when they go to the higher sensors here because it's, you know, more predictable movement, so they can track that easier with faster movements and flicks. But that's completely your personal preference and up to you. But feel free to switch around with those. I would highly recommend trying the zero sense or the zero strat of having them all the same. I think it's actually super, super cool. As for sensitivity itself, I think a long, long time ago, it might have been Zero that told me this when I was talking to him about sensors. But basically, if you can be good on a high sense, it is always better to play on a high sense because it means you can do everything faster. So if you're equally as good on a low sense and a high sense, you might as well play the high sense because you can do the same stuff faster. Very basic way to look at it, but it is true. But on that note, being consistent on the high sense is much, 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 much harder. Mouse acceleration off, there's no reason you should ever have that on. I know there are a few people that have it on, like Lamek and stuff. They're insane gamers. They have a ridiculous amount of time to put into the game to learn how to use that and utilize it to the very few strengths it has and actually make it useful. If you're an average gamer or a new gamer, there's absolutely no reason to do it. It will just make the game harder for you. Invert's completely personal preference. Clout mouse cursor to game window. If you have an issue where you go to your other screen, then it'll be useful to have that on. Lightning effects, I don't know, you can have your keyboard and stuff light up if you so desire. Movement-based wise, some of these are basic, some of them are not. Obviously, you want to have your move forward input and also jump on scroll wheel. This one allows you to tap strafe. This one allows you to jump easier. If you come from other games like CS, you probably have already done that anyways. You don't really want to be a spacebar jumper. It also allows you to super jump off zip lines and stuff. Really easy. You can get the interact timing perfect for that. Everything else here is pretty basic WSAD until you get to my sprint toggle zoom. I originally, when I first started playing PC, used to play Dota 2, and I had QWER as my main keys there. So when I came over to FPS games, I kind of made some other keys spaced around that to make it easier for my fingers to adapt. And that was Q for sprint. It's really weird looking at it now compared to what everyone else uses, but that was just personal preference. I would not recommend using that in any way, shape, or form. Tactical ability on my mouse, I feel like it's easier to press. Alt on Z, which is completely fine. Otherwise, I believe these are all pretty basic and just normal. Yeah, everything else here is extremely basic and extremely normal, I believe. Alright, controller time. I don't play controller. I'm not going to pretend I do. Go check out a controller video. I'll link one. I'll put one on screen right here, right now, and it'll be in the pinned comment below, done by my friend Psycho, who's the top Apex Predator, coach of the best teams and the best players in the entire world. And he did one of the most in-depth controller guides for your sensitivities, all your hotkeys, all your settings and absolutely everything. Definitely go check it out. He's an absolute goat. Or just play like 4-3 linear or something and you would just kill everybody, let's be real. Alright, video-wise, I'm not going to pretend I am the most knowledgeable person here, but I've had a lot of people help me with mine and explain to me why that I have mine. So I'll go through these with you because they are pretty good. Might not be the best, but they're pretty good. Full screen, 16:9 native. I have a 2K monitor, so, you know, 2560 by 1440. Please, for the love of God, stop playing stretched reds, especially if you're a content creator. There is nothing worse than when I open someone's stream or I click on someone's YouTube video and it is stretched reds. I get it. It might make the legends a little bit bigger for you to hit, so you have the small, tiniest advantage, or if you're a movement player, it makes you look like you move faster, so it makes, you know, your clips and stuff cooler. But it is fucking terrible to watch. Please, for the love of God, stop doing it. Especially if a casual player or even any experienced players click on your stream when they see it stretched res, the majority of them are just going to instantly click off because they're like, what the hell? I made a tweet about this a while ago, and everyone from experienced players, content creators, down to casual players all agreed with me. So please, especially if you're a small content creator trying to make it, it's not worth using, I promise you. Please stop. Brightness, I like having the game a little bit brighter than normal. You could honestly, I can probably turn this up a bit, but I wouldn't go too bright. Field of view, I think 1010 sucks. I think it is way, 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 way too high. And other games I've come from, I've never played on 1010. It's always been slightly under. 104 in Overwatch, I believe. I believe it was 90 or 100 in Rust. I haven't played Rust in years now, though. And stuff like that. Plus, I think 106 is just so much better. I think 110's just slightly too big. Some people I know put auto execs in to go to 120. And I think that's personally just crazy. Once again, if you're a movement player, it makes you look like you're doing things faster. But it's too much for me, honestly. It's too much on my screen at once, and you just don't need that. But at the same time, I would never go down to 90 because it is goddamn terrible. Please, if you're a console player and you can turn it up, turn it up. Or if you're stuck at there, I feel bad for you. If you're a console player stuck at 70, turn it up to at least 90. Yeah. FOV scaling, enabled. Goddamn no, you want that shit disabled. Holy shit, why was it enabled? Disabled. So basically, when you're in Bloodhound ult, or if you stim as an Octane, it'll change your FOV with these. And you do not want that, because then that in theory also changes your sensitivity. And you don't want inconsistencies, so disable that. Please disable that. Sprint view shake, you want that on minimal? Once again, don't know why it was on normal. Basically, when you're running, your screen will shake less. You don't want to be immersed that much into the game, I promise, to where it's shaking a lot. It's so much nicer on minimal. VSync, I want the best performance possible, so I have it on disabled. NVIDIA Reflex, have it on either enabled or enabled plus boost. It doesn't overly matter, but your input delay will be less on both those. Adaptive resolution, you want that on 0. Anti-aliasing, you want turned off. Texture streaming budget, it can go either way here. I personally think it's better to have it on one of the higher sides. And there definitely are benefits for that. It'll help the game a lot and makes the game look quite a lot nicer. But on the same end, you can have it very low on all the lowest down there to make the game look like an absolute potato even more. But the performance impact isn't that big, so you might as well have it higher if you have an okay enough PC. Texture filling, you want that bilinear. Ambient occlusion, you want disabled. And then basically here, you just want everything low or completely off, because it's just going to affect the quality of the game, and you'll give you more consistent, higher FPS if you have it all turned off or really, really low. And finally, we have audio. This is largely all personal preference again. I feel like I've said personal preference a lot here at the end. Apologies. Personal preference, all of them are. But until we get down to here, sound effect volume, I like to have that on 100% and then base everything else off that and around that. Dialogue volume, this is the worst scale in the entire world and does not work how a scale should. I have this on 4% and it is still the loudest thing in the entire world, only slightly louder than like 60%. I wish I could select what voice lines I'd like to have used and ones not. Them just randomly talking, I wish I could turn off. Or them talking about being out of ammo, I wish I could turn off. Third parties though, keep that on, but sadly you can't, so I just have it really low. And I hate when I play with certain legends that just never shut up. Vantage, I'm looking at you. Music, get it out of here. Music, get it out of here. Gameplay volume with spectating. Amazing dub for the devs for adding this. This is absolutely awesome. Because, you know, for some reason, spectating audio is the loudest stuff in the entire world, so turn that all the way down. I like having the audio when I view emotes, and sound in background on so that, you know, if I'm tabbed out when a game starts, I get the audio cue and I can jump in and play the game. Alright, now let's go have a look at our weapons and how many kills we have on every weapon. I'm going to warn you, there's a few that I have a crazy amount of kills on. As you can see, ARs, I'm a big AR user. Havoc, I got about 10,000 kills on. Flatline, I have almost 25,000 kills on the Flatline. I believe that puts me like top 10 in the world for Flatline kills. Pretty cool. Hemlock, not so much. R301, I have almost 18,000 kills on. Not massive R301 crutch, but a little bit. I got a few on the Nemesis. Let me know in the comments below, what's your highest weapon level? 10k in the Alternator? Only 5k on the Prowler, 23k on the R9, not bad. 8k on the Volt, 6k on the car. LMGs, I actually really enjoy using LMGs, but I don't have too many kills in them. We only got 3k on the Devotion, 5k on the L-Star, almost 8k on the Spitfire. I actually really enjoy the Spitfire. I think it's actually a really, really good weapon. We got about 5k on the Rampage as well. I'm trying to get better with this gun, but I genuinely suck with it. Jumping down to the marksman weapons, and I have very few kills on these weapons. Very, very few. I only got 2k on the Scout, 2k on the Triple Take, and that's been in the game since day one. Same with the Scout. I just don't use them. 30-30, only 1,000. And the Bowcheck, 800. I really am not a marksman weapon user. Maybe the Scout occasionally. Sniper rifle time. I'm not really a big sniper rifle user kind of guy either. Charge rifle, 600. So we got 600 out of 200 and something thousand kills is with the charge rifle. Yeah, just saying. Longbow, 1,000. Sentinel, 700. Kraber, I love the Kraber. I was #1 in the world for kills on the Kraber for like 3 or 4 years straight. I've now fallen down to like 5th because I don't play the game as much anymore, but still got quite a lot. Slowly getting it towards level 100 as well. I'll be one of the first people to get there without, you know, farming it in mixtape, which is pretty cool. Trial-wise, there used to be some really weird and crazy trials with the Kraber. Now it's just boring stuff, which kind of sucks. Yeah. But we'll finish that eventually, or soon, should I say, hopefully. Pistols, don't really like the RE45. I don't think it's that good of a gun. Almost got 3k on it. 3k on the P2020s. Not a big P2020 user either. Wingman, I used to love it. I used to like, exclusively use this gun. Yeah, it's the OG god tier weapon. These days, it's kind of arse, let's be real. Almost got 5 million damage on it though, which is cool. But we got our 18,000 kills, not bad. Shotguns, we have a lot of kills on shotguns. I believe I'm one of the few people in the world that has this many kills on shotguns. It's a lot. I got 11k on the Eva, 10k on the Mastiff, only 6k on the Mozam. We might need to bump those numbers up a little bit. And we got 13.5k on the PK. Also max level. Ooh. I don't think it tells you how many kills you have in grenades. It does not tell you how many kills you have in grenades. That'd be really cool if it did, but sadly it does not. And finally, it's actually time for me to show you guys my stats. So, as I said at the very, very, very start, we have 63,000 games played. Actually, that's a lie. We're 10 games off that. So, you know, for the 63,000, we're going to have to get an absolute banger game. Woo! Almost at 15,000 wins. We have a 23% win rate overall. Kind of insane, not going to lie. Little over 60 million damage. Highest is almost 8,000 with almost 1,000 average ADR. Not terrible. Career kills, 215, 216,000. I believe it puts me about 40th. I'll put something on screen now that shows you, but about 40th in the world for overall kills in the entire game, and even higher for MNK only, or PC only, I should say, which is pretty cool. 4KD overall, honestly, not that crazy high. Could be a lot higher, but one, I was very bad when I first started playing, as you'll see when I show you all my season stats, and two, I do a lot of dumb challenges where my KD dies, or I just jump off the map at the start of the game and stuff like that, so it hampers it a lot. Highest ever kills, 31, pretty cool. We actually have a crazy amount of assists. We have 105,000 assists, which seems the #1 Wraith in the world has about 260,000 kills, so more than me, and he only just hit 100,000. We help the boys out, we help the teammates out. I'm a good teammate, what can I say? Longest win streak at 10, which is pretty good. Now, we jump over to the season. This season, as you can see, I haven't played that much. I love Apex to absolute death, and I love jumping on this game and having fun and playing a few games. And I used to be able to do that for 8 hours a day, but these days, I can only do that for like an hour or so, just because there's nothing left to grind for. This game lacks progression so bad. I just want to be able to get on and play the game that I love with a goal at the end of it, you know? I want to be able to work towards a badge, work towards a stat, and it's just not currently there. So hopefully they do add that so I can go back to grinding and getting 10, 15, 20k kills a season like I used to, and you'll see in a second. 1100 average ADR, 5 KD, 27% win rate, highest kills. Haven't even got a 20 bomb this season. Man, I suck. 4 KD, 4 longest win streak. I have solo queued most of that, so I mean, fair enough. Still no 20 bomb? Man, I suck. What the hell? Now, I'm going to show you all my seasonal stats like this because, honestly, it's a lot faster. I'm not going to show the ranked as well because these do overall, but for ranked, basically, I've got masters almost every single season in Apex, apart from early seasons when I was a pred grinder, and always got pred back then. My stats as well when it comes to KD and stuff all over the place because I do a lot of dumb challenges in some seasons where I fly off the map and just kill myself, not actually playing the game, so they change a lot. And you will notice as well, I don't have a lot of big season kills recently. All those are back in the day when I was a big kill grinder, as I largely just chill and play the game now while I make different types of content. Alright, back to season 18 down to 13 right now. God, season 18 was kind of a rough one, not gonna lie, but this is also where I started to get more kills. As you can see in season 14 and 13, I got 13k in each of those, but I got about 8,000 in the rest of them. Not terrible. Jumping even further back, season 12 all the way down to season 7 when Yucky Horizon came out. God damn, I must not have enjoyed season 12 or been really busy because I only got 3k kills that season. Otherwise, I got about 10,000 during the rest of them, 12,000 in season 17 even. And finally, my stats for the remaining seasons. You will notice it doesn't go all the way back to season 1 and pre-season, but that's because those weren't tracked. But we got 9,000 kills in season 6. We got 15,000 kills, my most ever in a season in season 5. That was a lot back then as well. No one was really getting that many kills in a season. Because you got to remember, there was no 3 strikes, there was no solos, there was no revivables, absolutely nothing like that. 10,000 in season 4, 13,000 in season 3, got Pred in season 3 as well, and then, of course, season 2. And finally, as always, thank you guys for watching. You guys are all absolute legends. I appreciate you guys endlessly. So much content coming out over the next 2 weeks. So hope you guys are ready for it. Much love and see you guys again soon.